okay.
All right, let me turn up your audio, make sure everything is sounding good. Let me make sure all the audio is good. Yes, yes, yes. Could you hear me, sir?
Yeah, man, I can hear you.
Nice, 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 nice. All right, guys, I want everyone to share the love right now for Mutabaruka. Muta, where are you right now?
I'm at my house.
You're in Jamaica?
Yeah, I'm at my house. Yes.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. How is the weather like in Jamaica right now, Muta?
It's raining. It's raining here. I don't know if it's raining anywhere else, but it's raining here.
Nah, it's actually not raining here in New York. It's been a very sunny day. Folks are
Mm.
outside getting all the vibe. No inclement weather at all. But Muta, let's start because there's a lot that I want to go over here with you. There's a lot that the folks in the chat room wants to chime in with you as well. And as I was saying from the top, most people know you for as a dub poet, but a lot of people don't actually know a lot of other things about you. Like you was raised a Catholic. And one of the most intriguing thing I want to start with, Muta, is that the fact that when you travel around the place, you wear no shoes. So we're going to start from there. Tell us about the irony of not having to wear any
No,
leather, any shoes
no.
at all.
Wait. The first thing first. The Catholic thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised a Catholic, you know. My mother, anywhere she lived, which
Uh-huh.
is like anywhere,
Uh-huh.
anywhere we moved to, she would take me to the nearest church.
Right.
So it so happens that every time she moved in the same area.
Uh-huh.
So it's just that church, which is the Roman Holy Trinity Cathedral Church.
Okay.
So it's really like, it's not like she brought me up a Roman Catholic. It's just that the church that was nearest to me, to her house, was the Roman Catholic Church. So that was a church that I keep going to. But when I was with my grandmother,
Right.
she went to a Baptist church
Uh-huh.
in Jonestown. But it just so happened that my mother she didn't move out of the area.
Uh-huh.
She just changed houses, but it was in the same location. So that is why I don't know if people get it that I was brought up a Roman Catholic. I used to go to a Roman Catholic church because that was the nearest church to my mother.
Right. And how was growing up for you? What part of Jamaica did you grow up?
Well, look, I grew up in the south. It was just not like any normal youth, you know, run up and down, play marble, go school, go see, you know, any like any normal youth, you know. It's not like us. There was nothing special about me growing up. You know, we had friends, we go to party. I used to go to Kingston Technical High School. Before that, I went to Wesley Primary School. So, you know, it's nothing to really write home about my growing up. You know, I just grew up like any other Jamaican youth.
Right, right. Well, you've broken a lot of barriers as it relates to religion, culture, politics, and other social issues. And as I also queued up at the top, you're also known for wearing for not wearing any shoes at all. Tell us how what inspired that? What is that not wearing any leather all about?
It's Rasta, you know. When we just started to try the Rastafari, we left Kingston and we went up into the hills. A lot of us was there, and there were certain things that we started to shed.
Right.
And one of the things that we shed was shoes, because at the time it was not like we was searching for things. We was searching for self, and that self guide us to the idea of locks. It showed the idea of eating certain kind of food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it showed the idea of Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie. You know, and also that the no shoes thing is part of that process of, you know, connecting. You're trying to connect with the earth. Your locks connected to it is like an antenna. That's how we see it. Your locks is the antenna, and your foot is the grounding.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to ground with the earth, and have your locks as an antenna, so you feel like you're connected to nature, to life. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh,
Over the years, it has continued that way, according to the necessity to start. I
right.
mean, it's not that I wouldn't wear it, but at this moment in time, I didn't see the necessity to start walking around that way. I just continue that way, and it never hamper me from going forward in life, you know.
Right, right. Guys, we're chatting here with Mutabaruka, and I said normally we'll know, guys know that you'll be joining us via video, but today we're going to be joining him via audio. So again, the voice is all we need from the conscious man himself. Muta, we're going to talk about some self-consciousness, right? Because before I got a chance to watch the program, to do the program here today, I was watching a video with you where you was talking about the biblical sense and how the church and religion play a role in basically putting people against people. Tell us about the putting together of religion, and what is religion?
Well, religion is a group of ideas that men put together to see if they can reach themselves. You know, religion is supposed to bring you to a consciousness of life, and people say God. But unfortunately, men has twisted and turned it into almost political.
Right.
So religion is almost political today. Religion, I don't know how it started, why it started, but the outcome of it is not very good for the development and the social well-being of human beings. And it has not allowed human beings to find them divinity, because most of the religions is searching for their divinity outside of humanity. You know, so we search for a God that is invisible, a God that we don't know, but we attribute things to that God that is very anthropomorphic, meaning that we try to make God what we want God to be as a human character. So what we find is that people tend to use religion to drive fear and dominate the consciousness of people.
Right.
So I am not ascribing to religion, you see, because religion don't get you close to the earth, it don't get you close to other human beings, it don't get you close to life in general. What it gets you close to is a feeling that you are right and everybody else is wrong.
Right. And so what is your belief? Do you believe in God as traditionally written?
It's a Rasta, you know, Rastafari, Emperor Selassie, Africa, Marcus Garvey, straight up. But the concept, I don't give credence to that Judeo-Christian concept.
Right.
You see, the Judeo-Christian concept, I think, is what is creating the problem. You know, Rastafari started out as a what we call a Black Power movement,
right,
with a spiritual nucleus. Leonard Howell spoke of, here is our king. Why are we looking to England for a king? You know, Marcus Garvey talk about Africa for Africans, those at home and those abroad.
Right.
The philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey speak of the image of God, where black people should look through their own spectacle to define God. So what I am talking about is how I came in Rastafari. It's not through Judeo-Christianity, but it's through a levity that I saw among certain ones and what I got connected to. And that was what we talk about. We never talk about God. We never talk about devil. You know, we hail Haile Selassie not as Jesus, not as how people say God created heaven and earth. We hail him as the one who, when we identify with that name, it gives us a certain perspective in life.
Right.
And that perspective is to organize ourselves in tune with nature, in tune with life. So we find the divinity in human, not the divinity up in the sky or out there. We are looking for when we find our humanity, we find divinity. So I don't know if people want to call it God, but I don't ascribe to that God thinking. You know? Haile Selassie is a man, and the only God that exists is in man. And when I say man, I mean woman too.
Right.
But God is man. All concepts of God come from man. If there was no man, there wouldn't be any concept of God. So one cannot now ascribe his belief as the sum total of everyone else's belief, because his belief is coming from an idea that a man ascribed to that idea of God.
So what do you think of the Bible? What do you think of the Bible? Is it an idea of man, or you think that it was inspired by God? What is your
It
view of the
inspired
Bible?
man. It's man write the Bible. I don't know if it's inspired by God. I don't know what God. God, the Muslims say is God is Allah inspired their word. You know, everybody says God inspired them, and then the two of them start to fight each other, and then you realize that it's really man creating the inspiration. If there was no man, there wouldn't be any God. God is what man create, and then man create God, God create man. It's a justification according to the African philosophy. You know,
Right.
God create man, man create God. It's just so it goes. So when we talk about the Bible is just one aspect, one kind of people idea and understanding of who God's supposed to be. It's a Judeo-Christian mixed with Islamic ideas. To say that God write the Bible, we would have to ask question, what language he wrote it in and how did he came about writing it?
Right.
You know, I don't subscribe to. Sorry about the whole heap of nice. Make nice. I'm going to move. I'm moving.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I don't ascribe one book to life.
Right.
Life is so complex and so diverse that to really tell me that God write a book and then I must now ascribe to that book, it's ridiculous given that those books were written 3,000-4,000 years ago. You know, and there are books was written before the Bible. So in our African consciousness, there were books. The coming forth by there was before the Bible. You know, you have people who was writing in what them call Iran, Persia, and these places before the Bible was written.
Right.
You know, it's just that the people who ascribe to Judeo-Christianity is the dominant perspective. And if you are the dominant perspective, your word will prevail. There's no idea, there's no outside force that is writing the book. All of these books inspired by people who was experiencing a certain idea, a certain way of life in their time.
Right.
So now we have other people who's writing. We can easily say, it's God make Bob Marley write him song them, it's God make, you know, we can't say anything. But when it gets right down to it, it's Bob Marley of the publishing, Bob Marley of the ASCAP and the BMI thing. It have nothing to do with God.
Right.
It has something to do with how you go into yourself, find and recognize yourself, and link yourself with other people, other things, other places.
Right. So something that's very controversial, and I'm sure you hear it a lot, right? The stories of the Bible. With first you had the Virgin Mary, and she, when people talk about it, is like she was a virgin, but yet she gave birth. And your ideology completely contrasts that whole thinking that the Bible or people or churches make us to understand. How do you sum up that whole story of
Which story? The story about the Virgin birth?
the story about the Virgin Mary, the story of Adam and Eve?
No, I don't ascribe to these stories, you know. Those stories is Jewish mythology. I don't ascribe to these stories. You know, it's like saying Aunt and Nancy. We have stories in Africa. Brother Nancy is not real. It's allegory. It's understanding things from a perspective. It's figuratively or metaphorically speaking for people to define themselves in a certain perspective. So when I hear about Adam and Eve, I don't subscribe to these things. I cannot contend with Adam and Eve in this time. You know, it's just a story to me. You know, the eating of the apple, and, you know, man attack the bush, and people, you know, Joshua command the sun to stand still. These are just stories. These are people who did not understand scientifically how these things work. So in order for them to really put a perspective to it, they start to ascribe supernatural things to it. But now today it's like epilepsy. Epilepsy, we cannot understand epilepsy now from a biological and scientific thing. When in those times people say the devil in you and them have to get rid of it and do a sort of thing. We don't stone people to death now because of, you know, them wearing different clothes or working on the Sabbath. You know, it's a different way, a different thinking. Plus, most people who ascribe to Judeo-Christianity and the Bible, They don't want to hear nothing about African elements of consciousness, African retentive ideas. They don't want to hear about these things. I would prefer to seek into my Africanness rather than go into some 3,000 year, 4,000 year book, you know.
Right. So again, guys, we're chatting here with Mutabaruka. I'm watching the comments here. We have Aruna Neptune who's watching, and she says she could listen to you all day. The inspiration and all that stuff that you bring.
She's not going to listen to me all day, you know.
Eh?
She's not going to listen to me all day at all.
yeah, she will listen to you all day, literally. I'm sure she go on YouTube and follow all your videos as well. So you saying that the stories that are written in the Bible is false, or it's fake, or it's just not true?
No, I'm not saying it is fake, you know. I'm saying that it was written in a time when people was trying to understand themselves.
Right.
And in trying to understand themselves, and when they can't find what is it that is happening, they ascribe it to a supernatural being. There's a lot of things that people did believe first time that now can be proven that is not so.
Right.
You know, people believe that the stars fall out of the sky and the star going to fall on the earth. There's no star that can fall on the earth. The stars are much larger. The sun is the nearest star to the earth. Can you imagine if the sun fall upon the earth? It's madness.
Yeah.
But people actually believe that the earth was a dome, under a dome, and you could go to the sky, and these stars that is there was like little lights that would fall on the earth. Nothing like that. The stars are thousands, millions of miles away, and the light that they shine, some of them is much greater than the sun. We have different planets out there. We have more than one moon. Nobody knew that 3,000-4,000 years ago. Now we understand it on a different level.
Right.
You know, so we have to take it on a different level. Now we can't just go into the supernatural and superstitious belief, because superstition is not what we call edifying to the human being to be stable, because, you know, superstition lead to illusions. It's like what we need is information, and
right.
That is really what it is all about.
Right.
We have to find information and get rid of superstition, because superstition is belief. It is a belief thing, and belief sometimes leads to fear, and that is really what is driving religion and religious people. Superstition and fear. If we can overcome that superstition and that fear, we'll be a better person, because we'll more be able to connect to the birds and the flowers and the bees and the trees and ourselves. And that is really what it is all about. It's all about trying to find yourself in a world that is telling you that man going to disappear, and man will have no worth, and he was born in sin and shape in iniquity. And one day somebody, this compassionate God, will come and burn in fire for 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. And the devil going to do this and the devil going to do that. And we see the suffering on the earth, and, you know, it continues.
Right. So the story with we've been taught in Sunday school with Adam and Eve, and Eve ate the apple, and God said you would bear children. That whole story, it's fairy tale. It's not.
No, I am saying that it is an allegory.
Right.
It's people trying to understand things according to where their understanding is. But over the years, we have evolved in understanding. We have evolved into understanding things more clearer. So first of all, the Bible never mentioned anything about apple. That's the first thing. It said the fruit of good and evil, of knowledge. So that is the weird thing. It's like when we talk about 3 wise men. There's nowhere in the Bible that talk about 3 wise men. This was given to us by pictures.
Right.
It's like Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty is not an egg. Humpty Dumpty is a gun. In England, during the Civil War, they put the gun on the wall, and it fall down, and them couldn't pick it up back. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. So these stories come to us masked, and what we do is take the story literal, mm-hmm. and lose the essence of the story. So the people them who is writing that story, we have to understand what was the culture, what was the thinking and the thought process of these people when they was writing it. Mm-hmm. We can't just take it now and say, okay, there was 2 people in a garden, and one of them eat a fruit, and all of a sudden things get haywire now, and now the whole of us generation now have the sin of Adam and Eve away. I don't ascribe to that. We understand things more clearer now. We understand more things more because of information. Information is very important. If you, it inspire you. Inspiration without information can lead to superstition, and that is what religious people have. They have a box of superstitious idea that trying to train people and train themselves and get you caught up in wrong and right, devil and God, righteous and righteous, and all these things. And then when we look on the earth, it keeps getting worse, worse, and it's human being that is creating the problem. And part of the problem is because of this belief system, this religious, political system that define we as a people. And it's time black people come out of that.
Another very interesting topic that folks are, I myself try to seek and understand is our consciousness, black consciousness. Where did we evolve from? Like, who am I really? Folks say, okay, well, I'm Junior George, and the name George came from my great grandparents, slave owners, and all that stuff. Speak to me about black consciousnness and who am I? Like, who am I?
I don't know who you is. I know who I am.
Who are you?
I don't know who you is. I am an African.
Right.
First, from Africa. My ancestors was brought here not by free will but by force. And before we came here, we had cultures and we had systems that preserve us for thousands of years before the Europeans and the Arabs came there. As a matter of fact, people love to talk about the white slavery, but the Arabs enslaved Africans longer than the Europeans did. And if we move the Arabs and the Europeans out of our thinking, we have to study now, how did the Africans in Africa, we had this civilization that precede all of these things that we're searching for now, all of these religions and all these things. I was living quite well and quite fine, in tune with nature and life, and certain sickness we never have it. We had a family structure and these things. That is what we were. We are today what we want to be yesterday. So really and truly, I am my ancestor. My ancestor is me. If there was no ancestor, I wouldn't exist. If I never exist, my ancestors couldn't exist. So the life perspective continued through me. What we talk about, the ever-living, never-dying, life cannot cease. So we live because our ancestors live, and our ancestors continue to live because of we. So I am who I am. I am my ancestor.
Yeah. Muta, do you think that we as a people, and we see the questions coming, they keep coming with the question, guys. I'm going to pose it to Muta. Do you think that we as a people are living ourselves a lie by carrying the names that we carry now? Like, am I?
Well, not I'm going to name, It's not I'm going to name, because it's ignorance, and ignorance is not bliss. People don't want to tell us that ignorance is bliss. Ignorance sometimes is stupidity.
Right.
You see, we have been washed. Our brain have been washed. So because our brain have been washed, a lot of the things them that is right, we see wrong. A lot of things that is ours, we curse it. A lot of things that is not ours, we embrace it. You see, and that is part of it too. There's a lot of things right now that when you look on what African people is doing, I mean, for instance, how did they get black people to wear tear-up jeans? When we used to have tear-up jeans in our closet and we never used to wear it.
Right.
First time my mother would take off that and sew it up right away. Now we embrace it. And I would say it's trending. This is what is happening, so we do it. So there's a lot of things that is not we, that we embrace. We embrace a Jesus. Or we start to embrace a white man and feel that this white man going to save you from the oppression that white people put you in. White man oppression can't save you. White man God can't save you from white man oppression. But really and truly, that is what is in front of us. People will vex, maybe even turn off them radio because them hear I say, this thing cannot work with African people. This thing cannot work. It has never been working collectively. Maybe some individuals slip through the crack, but as a collective, like how other nations collectively move, like how the Jews move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Africans don't move that way collectively. We have one and two who we can say, but see the man, him, oh, we are talking, look on Obama. Obama is a black man and he become the president. That is not progress. If one man free and the others is not free, no man can set them free. See,
Right.
so it's what we talk about when we say freedom is the freedom of the all for the preservation of the one. So the freedom of the all for the preservation of the one, meaning that all of us must move as a collective,
Mm-hmm.
not Obama as a one man or Michael Jordan as a one man. That is not collective thing. What we're talking about is nations moving. You know, you don't have no specific Chinaman right now that you can say this Chinaman. But what you have now, you have a nation of Chinese who's taking over the world, who's taking over Africa. So they're moving as a nation, as individual. You see, how slavery bring us to this purpose now is that them strip us so much of different things that we have to fight one another and fight we sell.
Yeah.
We come out of the barrel. So we get individualistic now, so we have to move on a one-away thing.
Yeah,
The
but
other nations, them wasn't in that system and in that way. So they can allow to harness and gather the collective and move forward. And when Marcus Garvey told us, must look at them. Marcus Garvey was not feeling funny if he said, look at how the Jews move. Look how they move. Them don't move one away. They move collectively. If you look against Jews, if you look against Israel, the Jews them in America and the Jews them everywhere in the world go and rise up against you.
mm-hmm.
No matter whether you do bad or good. You see, England give them the piece of land. Britain give them a piece of land, and from that time until now, they have controlled the land to the point of them trying to run out the people them who was there before them to take away the land, just like how white people come and take away the land from black people, and black people keep fighting for land, and still don't recognize that Africa is their land. So everybody come in Africa and ransack Africa and take out the man take out, and Africa is the richest continent with the poorest people.
Yeah.
Africa is a continent, it's not a country. So we have to understand the movement of collective security. Haile Selassie talk about collective security. You know, and that's really where we're supposed to say. When Haile Selassie said, and Bob Marley reiterated, until the philosophy that all one race superior and the other inferior. That philosophy is white supremacy and racism. We Africans will fight if it is necessary because we are confident in the victory of good over evil. So Haile Selassie said that we are going to fight until we can get our liberation, and until that day, we Africans will fight, until we can recognize that there's no more racism. We Africans will fight. Some people behave like that war, that fight we're supposed to fight, finish already. So there's no need to fight no more now. So him integrate and all sort of thing and say, yeah, in the way they are just so, and you know, the struggle for African liberation is not of significance and important to him. Meanwhile, other nations is moving collectively together to control for him space and the space for them the dinner. If you look at the Chinese now, you see what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Jews, white people, they do it over the years. The Arabs do it over the years. Them go right across North Africa, control the whole of North Africa. And then Islam take over North Africa and even part of West Africa. The white man come, him control whole heap of Africa with him religion, take over. And most of them take over them place with religion. The Chinese the only people that come now and don't use religion to take over everything. Them use economic situation, not religion. Arabs come with religion, white people come with religion, the Chinese come with economy.
Mm-hmm.
That is what, because the Chinese was never part of that religious mindset. You see, white people was always religious mindset. Chinese always religious mindset. Black people religious mindset. So in order for structure, an idea and a concept, you have to center it around what is more meaningful to the people. And at that time, white people use religion. Now, what we see now is the development of economies. And the Chinese is using economy to what we call recolonize
Mm-hmm.
Africa. And we see that now. 700 different companies in Africa from China. It's serious thing.
Muta, is it a culture that you see a lot of black people? Like, for instance, if you go to places like Canada, even here in the United States and England, you find one Indian or five of them. They travel from India or Pakistan or wherever. They come to these places, and about seven of them live in one apartment. They pay one little piece of rent.
Jamaica,
yeah, and next thing you know, they own the whole block, right? So you find that culture of people, they working together. But it just seems like in our gene, I don't know what it is, but it just, you can't find the same with black people working together. Is that a part of our culture?
No, well, black people work together still, but you see, all right, you see what now? We are judging from where black people is the minority in a space. You see, no, the Chinese or the Indian, them do have a same kind of historical reference point.
Right.
Them do have a reference point that we are moved from. Because we still not get over this slave thinking yet. We still live in the slavery.
Right.
And it's not because of white people thinking, but because we are so ignorant of self that we continue it, right? No, the Indians, them never come here as slaves. Them come here as indentured laborers.
Right.
So if them did that work hard, them did not get a certain subsistence honorarium for them money, for them labor. See? And them never get moved from them culture. Nobody take Indians and move them. And don't control the land where them come from, but move them and carry them in a land that is not theirs.
Right.
We get drawn away, not voluntarily, to come up places, and in moving us, the kind of life that we were forced to live was not conducive to even extending our cultural perspectives.
Right.
See, the Indians, them never go through that rape of culture. Neither the Chinese, when them leave and go to England, or when them leave and go to, because you must remember that even the British, the control of India too. That is how we have Pakistan and India, because it's British to that.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of taking the Indian, them grabbing them out of them country in chains and shackles and bringing them across or so, it's not that experience. Them do have that experience. So when you have them, when you get the man body, but you never put him culture at risk. Him go somewhere else and still have that cultural perspective. What we have as black people is retentions of our culture, not the culture itself. So we start to develop other ideas or so, but it have little parts of our African culture in it. The Indian and the Chinese, when them come across or so, him come with everything. Him come with where that deal with over India and where my deal with in China.
Right.
So really and truly the only thing that was enslaving him was the body and the economic. So what him could have done, him could have used him culture and develop him economics.
Right.
See, we now couldn't use our culture and develop economy because we never have no culture when we come back.
We have Margaret here is saying that, Margaret here on the chat is saying it's not part of our culture, it's a mentality of African people. We do not trust each other because of the slave colonial system.
I'm telling you why that happened.
Yeah.
I'm telling you why it happened. Because them never move as a nation of people. You see, it's not, we don't trust no one. What we were doing in Africa, we were surviving in Africa thousands of years before the white people got there. We were surviving in Africa thousands of years before the Chinese people got there. There was something that was happening, and we'll tell you what was happening. The rape of Africa by the Arabs and by white people develop a certain attitude, that is not we. We're moving like zombies, it's not we. We're not moving like how African people move. Because we were Africans in Africa doing what we was doing without the stress and bother of all these people. When you hear people talk about take a village to bring a child. Mm-hmm. Right now, no village can't bring up no child because the child will all turn against the village too.
Right, yeah.
So what we have to know is that we have to understand the dynamics. That it's not that we don't trust one another because we was not allowed to trust each other. This given that we have to survive on a different level. We have to divide, we have to survive on a different plane. We have to have a different understanding on it. So them take away land, we come here so when them free the slave, them never give them no land, them never reparation was not given to them. It was given by to the people them who did own the African them as reparatory justice to them. We never get nothing. So we have to fend for ourselves. We depend on land that is not ours. It's Queen land. So how do we now manipulate in our country, for instance, Jamaica, when them say them free the slave them, what is the freedom that you give them? No land, nothing to start a family, nothing. You just split up them family and everything. So what them they do now? Them have to go fend for themselves. Like them going to go thief and set up a way out for thief white people things or burn down them house. Or them going to go find a way to just survive.
Yeah.
1/3 of Jamaican people live on land where them say squatter land. How did black Jamaican people become squatters in Jamaica when the majority of people in Jamaica is black people? How that possible? There must be what you call now crab in the barrel.
Yes.
If you get a place called Ghetto and on the Gully Bank and you have 1,000 of people live in a little space where 10 people would have live normally. Now you have 1,000 people living in the same space. Crab in the barrel exists because of the raping of land and the raping of your thinking, your culture. Your culture lose. Black people know if you do business and you can't see it in them little hustling at daytime. But the opportunity is not there for them to expand that in what you call a group situation. And if you give them the chance, them do it wicked too. Because we know about Igla and Iglas who used to import things and sell, and it's one person go buy it and come back and them share it and them. If you give them the chance to do these things, you will see it work. But we're living in a culture now that don't aspire to African culture. They don't aspire to how you think African. Because you have to go think about Jesus, and you have to go think about democracy, and you have to go think about how they don't make you think say you're African. Because right away you're going to say you're not African because you never come from Africa. So all of these rape go on. And we perpetuate the rape because we think that it is not ignorance. It's just that it's so we steer. It's not so we steer. We don't steer that way. We become that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Folks, we're chatting here with Mutabaruka. Muta, you made a very, very valuable point, right? And I remember Obama said it when he was in Jamaica. He said that look at China and take a close look at China. And China is moving a lot of resources economically, as you said, into the Caribbean region, like Grenada, in Jamaica. Canada is, China is making movement and amassing land and making new relationship with folks in the Caribbean. What do you think will be the after effect of that? After China developed this kind of relationship, give all this gift and all these different things to the island, what is the ulterior motive of China, you think, in the region?
The ulterior motive is the same like what white people is the ulterior motive. Control. It's not no different. It's not no different. The ulterior motive is to be superpower and have the dominion over people who is less fortunate to rise. Superpower, that is what it is all about. You know, Africa don't have no friend. According to what John Henry Clark say, Africa don't have any friend.
Right.
But we think say them as friend because we can't see gifts. You know, them say I saying beware of Greeks bearing gift.
Yeah.
But it's not the Greeks again, it's the Chinese. See, the white man, they come with them gift. When I'm gift them, give it was the Bible. And now we see what happened. Them come and take over land and give you the Bible. Now black people prefer to hold on and the Bible and lego them land and feel say there's a time when them will get some land when them dead somewhere in the sky. So that is the dynamics of the thing where the Chinese come now. Him not selling you nothing in heaven. He might show you say, look here. He say if you want a big factory over there, so we will build the factory for you. He say if you want some road, we will build the road for you, but you want now. Give us some land and make we do whatever you want to do with it. We will build anything what you want to build. We have the resources for building. You see, them a build a pipeline from China, go straight through, you know why about the Silk Road?
Yes, what about it?
The Silk Road is where goods and trades used to come between Afghanistan, India, and China. The Chinese, them a build a pipeline there to get gas from Afghanistan, go right from China, go right down through India, go right over to China.
Mm-hmm.
You see, America never do that. That's why America going to lose this economical war. Because
Yeah.
all America is doing is militarizing areas like Africa now. They militarize Africa. Under Obama, Africa was militarized. But what the Chinese them do, them say you want a parliament building. Them build a nice parliament building in the Congo.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have some things where you say you never use road fixing anything. Them just build that for you, but there is something underlying.
Yes.
We must feel say it's just because them love it. It's not love, it's power. Power.
And do you
know
think
that even the white man said power corrupt? Absolute power corrupt, absolutely.
Exactly.
So what will happen now? What will happen is that little more going to some little black girls, instead of you see them with white babies, you're going to see them with China baby.
Because
That
they're
is
all
what will
populating those regions as well.
Yeah, you're going to see we have to go learn now for them language. And
Yeah.
then going to have cultural presentations in Jamaica more prevalent or in the Caribbean or Africa. And we might just end up wanting to prefer to learn Chinese language than English.
Yeah, it's dominance, as someone rightfully said there. Do you think that the governments of the Caribbean is they don't quite understand the ideas that
No, they're lucky puppets on a string. Them don't understand nothing. Them get clouded by Western democracy. How you govern a country is through what Britain give you, Western democracy.
right.
See? So Western democracy decide that, but it's the same Western democracy that puts us under colonialism and slavery. You see, it's the same Western democracy that put you under Jesus. What we're going to find now is that these guys not coming with no Jesus. Them coming with, and them not coming in with democracy neither. It's a total different thing them are coming with. You see, so meanwhile you're looking one way because you go to school go learn about democracy, you go to school go learn about religion, Christianity. But we never go to school go learn about the Chinese function without Christian, without God. We never go to Chinese school go study how them function economically. Right. So it's that kind of neo-colonialism that is taking place where these leaders don't understand it. So they're not going to look at it as colonialism because colonialism have one face to them.
But how
Them
could
don't
all the
understand
how
the
could
face of colonialism as seen through the Chinese eye? Them understand colonialism on a historical basis, based upon where white people bring to it. But there's a new colonialism that takes place that we need to understand it. We need to understand it.
how could I mean in some of the instances where you go to places in the Caribbean and the population of Chinese in there is just so obvious of what is trying to happen, and it's not only happening in one island in the Caribbean, it's happening throughout the Caribbean. How could all the leaders of the Caribbean not see this so obvious? It's like a bright light shining in your face. Is it that
Yeah,
they don't
because you
care?
know what? All right, if you check America, nearly every state have a Chinatown, you know. But the Chinese don't manipulate the city. They are not owners of the state or the city where them in. It's still white people run America. So even though you have Chinatown in a Canal Street, them still have to give the law and all that matter in America. Them have to abide by that. So them can develop them culture, you know, and develop them way of life and thing, you know. But they are just a group by themselves. What these leaders don't understand, you know, is that it can't work so in that country and in a Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
If Chinese come here and build up Chinatown like where we see this or now, in San Francisco and China, them going to control more places than where we think them can do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like first time in a Jamaica when you have like a Chinatown down Barrow Street. And you know, Chinese never interested at that time. You know, Chinese were just Chinese who would come here, so have them laundry and them supermarket and thing, and then them build up certain economical power base inside that area, specific area. Now, we don't see the Chinese them expand in the other countries that we are talking about, even though we can't say them living wealthier. But if we allow them to build Chinese town in America, in Jamaica, or Trinidad, or the Caribbean, it's going to expand in a political power base. It's a new colonialism. It's power base. The Chinatown that existed in Jamaica when I was a child, those Chinese live in Jamaica and others in Jamaica. The Chinese town that is now being built, it's going to come directly from China with all the attributes of Chinese wear, Chinese clothes, Chinese tears. I want to say Chinese clothes, I mean I'm not Chinese traditional clothes. I talk about made in China clothes.
Right.
Yes, and you're going to have all these cultural activities that is defined in Jamaica. And it's going to be a nice out of many one Chinese people.
Yeah, and it's so relevant, and it's so true. And what is gonna happen? It seems like it's going on that road. Is that now they're gonna develop a political base so they could influence elections and influence governments, because if they could, of course, the Caribbean, everybody looking for money to run their campaign. They have the money, they could fund the campaign, and then
well, that's what I just told you.
Exactly.
I told you that.
Yeah.
In America, you have Chinatown, but they are not privy to the base of China,
right,
of America. If you go to Canada, them have Chinatown, Young Street, around them area there, you have Chinatown, but they are not the base of Canadian political order. You see, so they can't manipulate it.
Right.
Like the Jews.
Right.
You see, the Jews is a different kettle of fish. The Jews have economical power and stability, so they can manipulate politically countries that them find themselves in, like America.
Right.
Because America give Israel more money than any other country. The Chinese is not there in America like that. But given the situation that Chinese now is more venturing outside of China, the economics is what is driving China to be a power. Because America don't have them ways there. America and England never move economically to develop countries. America and England move to exploit countries and carry back to America or Europe. You see, whereas slavery was not to build up the Caribbean. Slavery was to plant sugar and cane that it can get rum and sugar to go to England. America is looking for oil and gas and all these things to go back to America. The Chinese not looking to carry back nothing to China. What them looking to is to control where them is, where the economical structure is. Them going to go into Africa, them going to come to the Caribbean, and them going to go cement them foot in the country. The road them, the building them going to cement themselves in the country. It's not a movement. Them not going, them not going to say, boy, right now, them not going to make you work. Them going to make you work and them going to pay you too. But the power will be centered around China.
Yeah.
That is what it is, and we have to understand that. These leaders don't understand it. They don't understand that China is not going to exploit your land to build up China. China is exploiting your land to control your land.
Yeah. Yeah.
To build up Chinese power base. Because them is fighting against America. And the only way them can fight America right now, which America cannot do it, is to set them foot in our countries and put symbols, buildings, factories, roads. That's when you look at it, it says the Chinese build that. What did America build?
Yeah.
In Jamaica. America never built nothing in America. America never built nothing in Jamaica. America exploit. And even though Chinese exploiting, but
they give
the
it.
facade where them put on front of you that, yeah, we have to take out the things there, but so we give a road.
Right.
We take out the things, but so we have building over there, so.
Yeah.
We can construct this and construct that. It don't look like it's exploit. Them exploit you. Because you have to know one and watch the other.
Right.
You build a road for me, make you 100 acre land over there, so. But you know, as the 100 acre land where you give it, it's not something that you should have do. Because your people, them out there so squat and them don't have no land for live on. You see, it's them thing there.
Yeah, it's so true. I want to talk about we're coming on to that time, but I want to touch on crime in the Caribbean and how crime in the Caribbean is escalating. It's escalating in Jamaica. Jamaica is under a state of emergency. We had that in Trinidad. We see a lot of nationals from those places here who live almost all their life outside of the Caribbean now being deported back to the Caribbean. Do you think that that is the reason why there is an escalation of so much crime in the Caribbean right now?
No, I think that the Caribbean islands is more in tune to America right now, and the necessity to be in that kind of circle is giving way to lust and greed, envy, and all sort of things, other things that come with it. You see, there is dangling in our front away, them dangling carrot in front away, and the more we move to the carrot, the more the carrot are move from it.
Right.
So in order for things that we will get the carrot, we have to move the obstacles out of the way. And one of the things then with the crime thing, is me could talk about even Jamaica, where them say is what them call latch scamming.
Mm-hmm.
Them youth there is not sufferers. Them youth there, what do them think is not people who, it's not youth who walk on the street and have nothing to do. It's youth who just go to high school. Them go to high school and them study computer and them know certain things and them have certain links in America.
Mm-hmm.
The gun them are coming to Jamaica. It's America the gun them are come from. It's not somebody where, just out of the blue just say, boy, right now, gun just come. It have an outlet, you see. So what is happening now is that the youth them is finding other ways to get rich quick.
Yeah.
Not like how them look on them grandmother and say them grandmother sit down and I wait for Jesus. And no Jesus can't come and them grandmother dead. Them knowing that. Them want to earn money quick. Because when them look how the society set up, them see a big, nice Mercedes Benz. Them want the Mercedes Benz, so them certain people are living in a big house. Them want a big house too.
Right.
So why is it that them shouldn't get it? And the way the system set up, there is not any structure set up for the youth them fall into jobs when them leave high school. Them don't fall into a job. You see, they weren't taught to be entrepreneurs. They're taught to be managers, or you manage business, secretarial business. So everybody wants to leave them school and go manage somebody's business.
Right.
If you take the people them in Jamaica, and black people especially, if you go own business, if the business now run for 1 year, them lock it long and say it now make no money. The Chinese, them, you have to look on the Chinese, them spend all 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in the business. And you think them make no money, them now make no money, and then the 7th year, you see them make a whole heap of money, and them just change to supermarket, then change to mall. No, black people now, and the youth them now, them get caught in a system where it's not allowing creativity. Because everybody going to one class. Suppose you're a footballer and me's a singer, and we are the whole of we are studying mechanics. That no make no sense.
Right.
Because me want to singer, you want to artist, you want to whatsoever you want to. You don't want to no mechanic. So why me should I go take a mechanic class? I'm not interested in that. But 10, 20, 40 people sit down in a class, I study art. Oh, them know me don't want to do no art. See? So them don't tailor the educational system to deal with it, because we're transcending from what you call a colonial educational system to a neo-colonial educational system.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take the individual at heart. This is a collective thing. Them don't mindful of the individual who's being educated. Them say this is how you're supposed to teach. So our one curriculum serve a whole heap of school. And the whole heap of school don't mean to the people them in that school they want to do that. You see? So the youth them find another way out. Because them can't get no job. Them can't go in there. So people tell them say, boy, them not have no experience and them thing there. And if you don't know people, you have to know people in Jamaica, and maybe in the world of the Caribbean is not who you know, is who know you.
Oh, no, you.
So you work around that. So the youth them now find a different way to do it. And one of the ways them find to do it to get the L and a pop L is scamming and use them brains, because the brains them are using them.
Yeah.
It's them brains them are used to dig out people. The problem with it is that when them get rich too quick, and then them start to become corrupt, just like the said people who never did allow them to prosper.
Yeah.
So it's like piranha. It's like a piranha thing, you know. It's like, you know, you start to eat down the next fish.
Yeah.
There's a possibility of total annihilation if we continue that way.
Yeah, Muta, you know, this conversation could go on and on. There is so much that we need to talk about. I was listening to your program during the election, and you was talking about Trump. What is your view on Trump and the work that he's doing right now?
You know, say me not follow up Trump again like how me used to time when them never.
Used to watch everything. Used to watch TV, radio.
I want him win because him winning going sure America say America is not for black people because he want to make America white again, and because America have a black president, they must getting so complacent and passive. That's what Obama did to black people in America. Obama make black people feel that the revolution done, it's over, we're all right. And then deep it in the police, them kill out the black youth, them, the unemployment rate, more black people in a prison per capita than anything else. As a matter of fact, America have more prisoners than even China. And China is 1/3 of the world population, and America have more prisoners in there than that, and the whole of them is black people. So what happened in the Obama era is that black people that look like say, yeah, we're all right now, and this and that, and really and truly them never all right. So this guy come now to show them, say them never really all right, and see how much them are wake up. So when we look and we are going, we say black people kind of look and say, yeah, you know, this thing are terrible, you know, we can't work with this thing here. Because all we have, with them I do with them now, they so now. If Trump got another man will come again, we have the same mentality like him. And if Hillary did win, she would have the same mentality like him, but she more underlined rather than him. So it's like you're between this, you know, it's like you jump in a fire, jump out a frying pan and jump in a fire.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that. So black people, them get complacent. We get complacent. And this man, the reason why I did want him win is because I said, I bet him about wake up black people. And when we look, we see black people are wake up. We see a whole heap of black people start to realize about where this other study is supposed to go. They mean that's for them to stay all the while. Of course, that's for them to stay all the while. They never change them spot. It's so they stay all the while. America is what it is, and we have to recognize it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to wake up, but as you say, with the culture that's deeply embedded in us, you know, you still find, you know, I think a lot of black people still need to come together, and if one thing
everywhere.
I think Trump, right?
Everywhere, we're asleep, man.
Yeah. If it's one thing I thought that Trump winning would have done, is just bring a whole set of black people more together and say, like, okay, we need to work for ourselves. We need to help our brothers. We need to come together. We need to form association. We need to buy houses. We need to own properties and stuff.
We're going at the bank. Go put your money in a black bank and ball out.
Yeah.
And a whole heap of man start going at the bank now, and the management them at the bank them and say, since the brother coming down, since black people are putting in there, it's the first time I have so much money in the bank.
Yes.
Just one youth decide say, him will just take his money and put it in a black bank. And all the other hip hop youth them realize, not all, but a whole heap of them realize, say, yeah, this is the way to go. And them start to put them money in the black bank. And the black bank is flourishing all over the place.
Yes, and that is a good movement.
It's because of Trump why him wake up, you know. It's make him wake up.
Yeah, but you see things like black people calling each other niggers, and black people, crab in the barrel syndrome. You see your brother rising, you're quick to pull him down. That still exists. That's still within our DNA. So we might be moving.
No, not DNA. It's a learned behavior, not a DNA. It's a learned behavior, man.
Well, a lot of people learned it. A lot of people learned it because, you know, I think if we really...
Most of we learn it, man. Most of we learn it. But we can't unlearn it.
Right. Well,
it's like how we unlearn it through Marcus Garvey, and we unlearn it through Malcolm X, and we unlearn it through Paul Boger. We can't learn them things there. It
Right.
just take a time, and through with the living now, we feel at the time kind of strange, but we can unlearn it.
Well, it would be great to see more black people support black businesses, more black people
Of
support
course.
more of their black brothers and sisters who are thriving to get to the
Yes.
top instead of trying to pull them down. How about trying to
Yeah,
prop them
we
up,
have to have
help
a
them up?
consciousness first, you know.
That
That's
is the
where the education
consciousness.
come in.
That is where the
We need to be
consciousness.
educated, not indoctrinated.
Exactly.
Educated.
Exactly.
Right now
Exactly.
we are indoctrinated. We need some education.
Exactly. And I hope by you doing all the outreach that you're doing, I know you do your radio program,
Yeah.
and you talk to a lot of people there as well, and you have a lot of following. And as you continue to preach those messages and let people know, you need to really be conscious of yourself.
Yes.
And I asked the question earlier, and somebody said, well, why is he asking Muta, who am I? Of course, you don't know who I am, but as a people, as a
No,
people.
that was rhetorical. That was rhetorical.
I know, I know. Somebody repeated it. Like, how Muta supposed to know who he is like that? But really and truly,
Yeah, well, the person
as a
independent.
as a group of people, we need to know our identity. We need to know our history. And there's still a lot of people who don't pay attention to our history. They like the quick bacchanal. They like the quick gossip. They like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But something that would build their mind and consciousness, they tend to shy away from it because that doesn't fit into their DNA. They're quick to rent houses, but they don't quick to think about how they could possibly buy a house and have that investment, whether it's here or wherever else. But the other people, the white people, the Mexicans, everybody's doing it. Everybody's building and building their riches through real estate and the stock market. But it seems like we are just good with mediocrity, with a small portion of it, when there is a bigger portion that we all could benefit in. So we need to talk about it. We need to unlearn to relearn, as Najuma there said. We need to unlearn to relearn. And thank you so much for sharing some of your inspiration here with us. Continue to do what you're doing. And
man, give thanks.
where could people listen to you, Muta? What times are you on?
RFM. We're done on Wednesdays from 10 o'clock to 2 Jamaica time.
Okay.
And Thursdays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Jamaica time.
Yes.
Cutting edge, stepping razor.
That's right. Big up yourself. And thank you so much for doing the work that you're doing. We're going to stay in touch, Mutabaruka. And thanks for taking the time. All right, great. Yeah, guys, Mutabaruka there. Consciousness. I got to say something about that because he made a few very, very, very valid points that we all need to pay attention to and look at, Yeah, you find that, don't you? You would see like other races, like especially the Indians, they would all live in one apartment for 6-8 months, about 7 of them, and the next thing you know, they own the whole block. But you would never see, you black people, you don't see. I'm not saying you will never see. It seems like we just can't. It seems like we just can't live like this. I don't understand. We all fighting for a small portion of it. There is a big portion of it for the taking. If we all could work together, there's a lot that we could do. All right. Let's start today, guys. Listen to Mutabaruka. He's very inspirational, brother. Check him out. He's on RJ Radio, and I'll put the link right there so you guys could check it out. He also has all his video of past shows on YouTube. If you need some more information on Mutabaruka, I'll share that on the Facebook page. Yeah. I'll put that on the Ridealong group Facebook page. Tomorrow on the program, we're going to be speaking about homophobia. There was a situation in Grenada where a young man, he has been threatened. His life is at risk simply because he's gay. And it's a story that needs to be told. It's a story that we need to talk about. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Coming up this week, we're going to be speaking with Kirk Sitahal from the Spice Mass Corporation. We're telling us about way ahead for Spice Mass 2018. And talking about Spice Mass 2018, I hope you guys getting ready for the Monday Night Mass. Yeah, get ready for Monday Night Mass with amazing colors. You know, packages went on sale today, and boy, the thing selling out quicker than could ever imagine. So go ahead right now if you have not yet done so. The frontline package and the t-shirt package is on